Welcome to the Ask Guidr Roundtable. Letting everybody load in. I see Francis is still connecting. David Salter, is that you and Julie, or one of you?
It's me. I'm actually in my car, so I'm going to have my camera off because I'm going to be driving.
Okay, David. Well, thank you for making the commitment to be with us. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Absolutely. And Dave Begley, I see you're here. Hello.
Hello.
There you are. Hello, everyone. Well, first and foremost, wonderful to see all of you in person last week. David Salter, we did miss you, but it was nice to see everyone, and thank you for committing to join us today. I know we had a great session during Taper talking about Guidr and the different marketing tactics that and case studies that were shared during our Guidr session. And so, as always, I'd like to start off our time today. Just the team is here, so hi, we're all waving, saying hello to you. But Dinesh and Mitchell and Francis and David Salter and David Begley and Michelle, thank you so much for joining. And let's start off with just some questions. This, as you know, is our Ask Guidr Roundtable, so you can ask anything tech related. We have Brittany with us, who is our the legal stuff, if we have any questions about that. We have marketing, we have operations. So this is the time where we like to have open, fluid conversations. So anybody want to start off with anything, reflecting on some breakthroughs that they may have had last week? Any questions as you've gotten back to the office and you're ready to gear up? David Begley, thanks for raising your hand.
Yeah, what is everybody doing on pricing? I wasn't fully focused on that. I guess I thought we would price it at about the rate LegalZoom is that right, or a little bit more? I don't even have the numbers.
So I'm going to kick it off and then I'll toss it over to Britt and Dave. But with regards to pricing, the feature, as you can see in the back end of the portal, you have the ability to, or of the platform, you have the ability to set your pricing, whatever it may be. Everybody has a different thought process on their pricing structure. Initially, the online legal document concept is to have it to be at a lesser rate than if they were to come into your office for the red carpet service. With that being said, you want to assess the market that you're in, look at the current rates that you're charging, and then pick a price that you're comfortable with, understanding that you do have your the set fees. So you want to make sure that you're going to be making profit. And the LegalZoom concept, I think, is something that if you want to compare to LegalZoom, see what's happening in their neck of the woods and what their price points are, that's something to consider. And I open the floor, Britt, for comment, and then I open the floor to any other member that is on the platform to talk about how you have decided your pricing structure.
Lisa, you really covered it. The only other thing I would add is, Dave, there are preset, sorry guys, my voice is terrible today. There are preset prices loaded into your Guidr when you first sign up that we kind of say are like our, not
Recommended?
default. Yeah, recommended pricing. And I say start with those. And if you're like, oh, you know, this seems kind of low, or I'm not making what I thought I would be making, or I would be surprised if you think it's kind of high, but at least there's recommended pricing to get you started and you can kind of get a feel for it and change it from there.
Yeah. Tom Olofsson, do you have a comment? Do I see your hand, or are you just holding your screen? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a comment.
I was texting with Dinesh there. Sorry, we were talking.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Here's what I would say, David. Remember, we are not LegalZoom. We're real lawyers. So I believe we can charge a premium over LegalZoom, and I think people would willingly pay it. How much is up to you. The other way I look at this is a fraction of the in-office price. So for us, if they came into the office, a single person, I think for a will healthcare proxy power of attorney pays $7.95 or $8.95, and then I think a couple is $12.95, something like that. And so I think our pricing is around 33 to 40% of that number. So it's between a third and 40%. So it's wherever you're comfortable with. The other thing I would add to anyone listening is just for your geography. If you're in New York City, I think you could substantiate a higher fee, or in a major metropolitan area. And I think that naturally happens by virtue of a percentage of your in-office fee. So if you're in a metropolitan area, those fees in office will probably be higher. So if you go to that 33 to 40% of that number, that should be a naturally higher number. But those are just a few thoughts for attorneys to consider. One of the things that's great about Guidr is that it allows you to decide that. I think test it, play with it a little bit, and don't forget if you do it properly, most everyone coming in to use your Guidr platform is going to get some kind of a discount because we have the discount codes. You always want to know where they came from. So don't be afraid to adjust accordingly.
I think one of the mental blocks a lot of people have is they're treating Guidr like this special thing. It's just like any other piece of your business. Apply the same business fundamentals and foundations that you have with everything else to Guidr. Like when I started up with it, pricing is my nemesis. I absolutely despise coming up with pricing for any service, any goods, in any business I've ever been in. I do not like it. So I do my research. I talked to other attorneys around when I first started with LWP, and I figured out how much they were charging for trusts and how much they were charging for wills. My dad went through Mike Rakowski to get his plan done, so we had all of Mike's pricing information. And I know where Mike's offices are, so I just indexed for my county and my geographic area on the pricing. So find out what your competitors / collaborators are doing and kind of match up with them. Now, when it came to Guidr, Jack Wires was one of the beta testers, so he had it before I did. So I talked to him and Sarah Reedy and kind of figured out what they were doing and adjusted my pricing index based off some of the additional ancillary services I provide and my geographic area. So it's the same business principle. It's just applying it to a newer technology. That's it.
Awesome. Dave Begley, did that insight help you?
Well, yeah. But I remember from Taper, there was also it was 2 tiers. One without the in-person signing, and one they did it themselves. And Guidr, I remember the number 178, or I have it in my notes, but as not an upcharge, but additional charge if they select that. Does that sound right? That 178?
Yep.
Yeah, I
that's
charge
correct.
$149 for our in-person signings, but that's just me. That's my preference. And you do have the capability to turn off the I'm sorry, you can turn off the do-it-yourself signing. If you want to force them to you can't? Am I wrong on that? I thought you could. I thought you had the option to toggle on and off.
Nope. The platform itself wants to make sure that we're flexible to the needs of kind of the end consumer. So that one isn't an option. However, if you feel really strongly about in-office signing, one of the best practices that some of our attorneys who do feel strongly about that is that they do make the phone call. So they have that phone call and they speak to the client and say, hey, I feel really strongly about this. We'd really love to see you in my office. Please make sure you check that box. So, so the platform itself really wants to keep that flexibility, but you in your office kind of in your best practices can encourage the in-office.
Absolutely. Great talk. Thanks, guys. Dave Begley, before we move on, any other clarification that you need in terms of pricing?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Mitchell, how are things going? Have you processed stuff and are you excited? Do you have questions?
I don't have any questions because I don't know what questions. I haven't started. I'm still reading the book. I'm waiting for y'all to reach out to me. I haven't looked at it. So I'm as green as you can come. To the conversation. I'm just trying to listen in, trying to see what some of the issues that people are having. Unfortunately, I promise in the future I will have comments, but today I don't think I'm going to have a lot.
Listen, that was open and honest feedback, and I'm glad to hear that you are reading the book. So that's a good step in the right direction.
Okay,
So
I'm
thank
almost
you,
done
sir.
with it, not quite.
We
Yeah,
are
but it-
processing, just as an FYI, for those of you who haven't had meetings yet, we're processing everything this week. So if you haven't heard from us yet, you will in the next few days so that we can get you on our books.
Right, I guess that would have been my question. When will we hear from you?
All right, perfect. Well, thank you. Michelle,
Can
hi.
sorry,
Oh, yes.
Lisa, just to finish that conversation off,
Of course.
I'd be intrigued, Mitchell. So either, voice it now and feel free to say literally whatever you want, or drop us a line afterwards. I'd be intrigued to hear what you think about, the book and whether it ticked all the boxes for you, whether you felt there was some areas missing that we could maybe improve on in the second edition. I've just been kind of socializing the idea of adding a section to the book, which would be based around how to deal with a recession or an event such as COVID. I thought that might be quite a handy section to add to the book. So yeah, listen, if you've got any feedback, I'd love to hear it.
Okay. All right, well, I will be glad to do that. I guess I don't know. I'm not sure I know how to get in touch with either you or Andrew. I think everyone else I know how to reach out to.
Well, that's all you need to do. Reach out to them and they'll put me in touch with you. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's all fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. All right, Michelle, I see your hand is up. Welcome to the Ask Guidr Roundtable. This is your first time attending, so I'm glad that you're here with us. And what kind of questions do you have?
I talked to Bethany yesterday. Thanks, Bethany, for that too. And we got the email, maybe I'm a day behind. We got the email yesterday, the welcome email, and it said in there that when I go in to register to use the firm, the firm email, and I hate to say it, I don't have a firm email. Is that really necessary? Can I use my work email, or do I need to
Yes,
go in and create
Michelle,
that?
I probably wrote those directions early on. I mean, that means use your, Stengel Law email handle instead of your Gmail or Yahoo or something like that. It does
Okay.
not need to be like a centralized email.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely use yours.
Okay, fantastic. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Sorry. So Michelle, if you don't mind, we can continue the conversation. What are your thoughts for implementing Guidr within your law firm? How are you thinking of bringing it to market? How are you thinking of bringing it to your synergistic relationships?
I missed most of what you were saying because okay.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, how do you plan on bringing Guidr to market, to retail, to the general community, to your synergistic relationships? Because we do have a few people on the call that are actively implementing it right now. And so if you want to share your ideas with us, we can kind of help you brainstorm a little bit or expand upon it.
Well, just to start, I've already started reaching out to start lunch and learns. I've scheduled them out just far enough so that we can get started and get everything up and running, and that I can learn the PowerPoint and everything. But we're going to start doing the lunch and learns, and funeral homes is going to be a big hit. I'm going to start, because of my background, I'm going to move into the court system and start hitting the clerks and in the court system. And I'm going to start hitting the police departments at their roll calls. They seem to be really welcoming in scheduling them. And we're just going to be handing out those codes right and left. I still need to schedule a call with Leslie. I haven't actually registered yet, so I need to get going with all of that. I don't have a website yet, so we're going to be handing out those codes like candy.
Yeah. We do have that marketing call, and we'll get enrolling. But with your lunch and learns, what kind of businesses are you going to, or was that the summary of the funeral homes and municipalities?
That's it. Yeah, the clerks. There's a really large number of clerks, and And I've talked to some of the supervisors already about it, and they're kind of excited about us coming in to talk to them about all of that. So
Oh, wonderful.
it'll be fun.
Awesome. Congratulations.
That's great. I would love for you to join us next month so you can give us an update on how things are progressing along. Yes, Mitchell, I see your hand.
Yeah, so maybe I will comment some. I'm just curious, Michelle. I want to move forward as quickly as possible, and I understand that you are, but I kind of want to see something before I actually do anything. And I'm just curious, like I know I'm not a very quick starter. I have to think through. I'm very high on that scale, like 7 or 8, as far as the planning or whatever.
The fact finder.
So I'm just curious, will you fall on that, and how comfortable you feel like go ahead and scheduling things when I'm assuming you don't really know what you're going to be presenting.
Well, I'm just like you. I'm a very high fact finder, and so I'm slow start. But I just know I'm at that point where I've got to do it, and so I'm just doing it. I will figure it out as I go along. It's not going to be perfect at first, and I'm okay with that. It's just going to be okay, and as long as I'm getting business through it, that's what I care about. We had a workshop last night, just a regular 3 steps workshop last night, and there were only 2 couples there, but the 2 couples both signed up for regular meetings for the vision meetings, and but they all have adult kids that they're already saying, we want that program, because they need it now. So I'm assuming they're going to end up, as soon as we get the codes and we have it up and running, they'll be our first customers.
Great job.
Besides Kara's daughter, she's going to come in and do it.
And Mitchell, to your comment about, pushing through, we're here. That's why you have the team, the Guidr team here to support you. Work with Bethany, work with Leslie, work with the team here to help you just push on forward and take Michelle's advice. Just, you got to do it. Right. And you just got to set that date and say, this is what I'm going to do, and push through, and we're here to support you and get you over that line. So
okay, one of my thoughts on that are that I have and I've talked to someone already, a fairly young financial planner, and that's who I wanted to reach out to first. And my whole idea is I want to present something to her, and so I just don't think I can start without knowing what I'm going to present to her. I've already presented her the basic idea. So she understands that part. So I've got that part done, but I just don't know what to present yet. So I'm don't want to go ahead and schedule something in case that I don't have it at that point in time.
So when we meet Mitchell, which should be, like I said, I'm scheduling them out it should be in the next week. So, so you'll be on my calendar soon.
Okay.
But when we meet, we'll go over some of the resources that are already available. So there's a really great leave behind piece. That's great. It's a trifold. That would be a really great piece for that advisor. And on top of that, Britt has some really great kind of demo and some videos out there. So you can even leverage those and then the leave behind piece. So kind of a combination of leveraging our team to help you do that presentation. So we'll definitely make sure you're prepared for that meeting. And I saw Tom's hand up as well. But
yep. One thing really quick. There is a retail facing demo that Britt just updated last week that's available on the Guidr YouTube channel that you can use to show people so they can understand the experience from a consumer side.
Okay. I'm not even know where the channel is.
We'll get it to you. We'll get you. Tom Olafson, sir.
So the demo that you mentioned, does that include where we can sit down with an advisor and run through a quick power of attorney with one of their people in the office or something?
Britt, that demo is just a quick overview of how it works. Are you talking about you would like a quick video to say how easy it is to get their power of attorney?
I'd like to sit down with an advisor in their office and say, have your assistant come over here. We'll do a power of attorney for them, and just have a demo code that we could
so we have
do one real quick.
Yep,
not like a whole thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So we have the demo environment and we have the demo instructions. So we could, if you're going through that with them,
Mhm.
you could easily walk them through the power of attorney. If you're out there and you actually want the documents to spit out, you just have to let us know so that we can release them for you. So maybe give us a heads up beforehand. So before you go to that meeting, let us know so that we can be on standby for you to make sure that happens. But even if you just want them to experience what it's like to go through that, and maybe you have, you have a previous demo one that you already have prepared that you can just slide in front of them and print out. But yeah, we have the instructions for that. And when we have our call on Friday, I can show you.
Or
Beautiful.
better,
Thanks.
put the advisor on the spot and say, bring his or her assistant in and have them pay for that person's power of attorney in a live session.
Hey,
That way you can tell the advisor you're paying for your assistant's estate plan right now, and here's how easy it is.
nice.
I
I'll
like
even give you a discount.
that. Here's the promo code. Tom O 90.
Yeah.
All
Thanks.
right, awesome. That's really cool. Okay, so Francis, we haven't heard from you. I didn't know if you had any questions or insights or debrief from last week being at Taper.
Yeah, no, I just, I'm very excited about this. I drank the Kool-Aid on this. I'm normally a fact finder, but I'm a quick start with this. I see the potential of this, especially 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds. I mean, people are very busy. Anyone in my family that I talk to that's in that generation, they don't even want an informational. They're just like, Aunt Fran, when are you getting it done? Because everything's on their phone, honestly. And I'm going to try and market like mothers clubs by me, because there's a lot, mommy and me's, like just kind of just going there because they're usually looking for some sort of presentation, like because they're looking for people to come and talk and have adult conversation with them. I don't even think I would even really need that much of an informational, and give them the code to put them on their phones. That the high schools, I'm thinking, like at the back to like the college orientations for the high schools, the seniors, I'm gonna go to the local high schools and my high school, give them a flyer to put in there with all, if they're willing, with the informational package, because then I'll get the child and then I'll get the parent. That's what I'm assuming, hopefully,
Mhm.
Those are the different ones that I'm just right off the bat, I was thinking of, but I see endless potential with this. But that's why I just am waiting to like get the email to sign up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Single
Awesome.
I may be naive, but I see it.
Single parents are also good places.
Yes, young
target.
professionals that no one has time for anything anymore.
Yep.
And once they said, yeah, you could do it at home, all of them, they were like, yeah. I mean, it's my family, that generation, there's a lot of them. And so I'm hoping that they'll be the first customers.
Yeah.
And I also have the problem with, I don't like to charge anybody. Like I always have that issue. So it is nice. Like I have a friend that I've been friends with for years, and her husband, like another thing, her husband's going in for surgery. She's like, I just want a quick power of attorney, healthcare proxy and will, because they don't have anything. I'm like, yeah, give me a couple of days or whatever, how long it's going to take. So, and I would, if she came into the office, I would never charge this woman, but it's much easier because now I'm taken away from it. So she can sign on and she will be paying for it. So I don't have that, I'm still working on that part of it. My husband
like
calls me the pro bono attorney. So
Yeah, you can give that promo code and still feel good and be like, here's
Exactly.
my special friends and family discount. Go to my
Mhm.
website and make sure you use the discount. And that allows you to get rid of the freebie, make some sort
Exactly.
of money, but still feel
Mhm.
like it's like that good inside feeling that you're being helpful to your friends and family.
And that was going to be my question. So every person I'm giving a promo code, so then I can track where I'm getting my business from. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So then when I do the purchase, so when I do the price, I should factor that in.
Correct.
And what is the normal discount? Is it like 10% or something? Or like what is normally what people, like what is the
Whatever you-
discount that people are given?
Whatever you want it to be. I think 10% is a good starting
Okay.
point.
We, I think, do 20 for financial professional referrals, and then you can set up any number of codes. So my firm hasn't let me do it yet, but I'd like to set up a family one at 50%, or
Mhm.
even family members of the law firm Like
Mhm.
employees, if they want to give it to their immediate families, you might want to do a
Mhm.
little more, but
But
but,
always,
yeah.
if you set your prices a little bit higher, then maybe you would, so here's where
Yeah.
I'm thinking of setting my prices, set them just that little bit higher so that
Mhm.
10%
Yeah.
really gets you to what you're looking for. I know that may sound or may feel a little different, but I think that that's important to make sure that, you're still making money. And to your
Mhm.
husband's point, in this case, you don't even necessarily have to be in the conversation, so you don't have to feel
Mhm.
like you need to be the pro bono attorney.
Yeah,
And
I
you
know,
can
it's-
still have them give you that discount.
Yeah.
We're
Tom?
tiered.
Oh.
We're tiered. I've got my 20% discount for my family and friends or the people I do things for. Debbie is next level with 15%, and all of our professional partners are at that 15% tier. And then just random individuals on the street, if or like sessions, like a group of a family session that we might do, 10%.
Do you give like, because like I'm gonna use my family as my marketers too.
Yeah.
Because they're all on, like my one niece, she's on Instagram, whatever the new thing is. I am not.
Yeah.
I will hopefully, get my act. I do have that small website or whatever, but they're gonna put me on Instagram this weekend and do all this. I sound very old right now, but they're gonna do all that for me this weekend. But can I give them a code? Like, because as I said, I literally have 40 people. I'm like just my immediate family. So I can give them, because I can see who's actually,
Yeah.
getting me the business,
And make it a competition.
is that how you do it? Like what I did,
Yes.
like, all right,
Yep.
okay.
And
right.
maybe we'll save like the last 10 minutes, Britt, if you want to do a share screen and we can show like the promo code and how you could do multiples. Maybe we can do that like towards the end of the meeting, just so you can visually see what we're talking about. The other thing is this is such great conversation, and remember the time of year that we're coming into. I think it was Doug Lay's firm that said we are sending out an email to all of our maintenance members to give them the friends and family gift of Guidr, where they get the healthcare proxy and power of attorney at a discount. Because I think if I recall, John was saying that for the families of their maintenance member, they give a free healthcare proxy power of attorney. So just not necessarily having to be just like that, but remember the time of year that we're coming into. You can give the actual coupons if you'd like, a tangible coupon with a promo code. You can email market them. You can really give back to your maintenance membership referral program. Just think of the time of year that we're coming into, give the gift of, Guidr, and might be something in Francis. If I had 40 people in my family, I would put up a competition and say whoever wins gets the best Christmas gift.
I was just gonna say, is your family competitive? Because mine would, and coming
Oh,
in
yeah, please.
Thanksgiving, I would
Yeah.
absolutely have a running
Yes.
like board of who's doing the
Yeah.
best.
Yes, I'm the baby of 6, so I always win.
I love it.
Use the,
I'm the baby of 10, Francis, so I
There
know
you
what
go.
I know what that's like.
Mhm.
But
That's
I
me.
just tell my siblings it took my parents 10 to reach perfection. So it
Yeah,
only
that's
took your
what
parents 6.
That's what I say all the time. I just said that joke too. I say, yeah, they stopped. They got perfection, so they didn't have to have any more children. But that's there's always, I'm sure, there's always something going on in my family, and there's like just a small gathering is like 20 people. I mean, that's where I'm starting with this, because they're all of that age too, and they're all having kids, and then we all live in the same area, so I know all their friends too. So it's it's kind of almost a built-in trust factor a little bit too, of, oh yeah, to see his aunt is a lawyer, and so at least I'm hoping, God willing.
So are
The
you going to
biggest
use
thing,
are you going to
Francis-
use your Christmas family get together as a mass signing meeting then?
Oh yeah, please, it's a Halloween get together this weekend.
I love
All
it.
the new babies in their outfits and stuff. Yeah, please. It's constant in the Phelan household. So
The thing, Francis, that you need to be accountable to is the follow through factor.
yeah,
We have so many of our members that have phenomenal ideas. They get going, and then life gets in the way, or the regular work rut gets in the way. And that's why it's so important. I know that you're solo, but for our members that have support staff, support team members, it's so important for everybody to be on the same page, and that you don't lose traction with this, because the more that we can get it going, the more that you can get it going, the more results you're going to see. I mean, eventually how great it would be. You're cashing in 30,000 each month of doing nothing but just having conversations and letting your friends and family do the work for you. But you
Mhm.
got to keep that traction going. Got to keep
Yes,
it
yeah.
going.
Yeah, and I also have to make time that when I get the emails to review the documents, then I, so I'm gonna try and do set days of just,
Yeah, work it right into your time
Yeah.
template. Absolutely.
that's what I took away from taper, actually getting a schedule and a
Yeah.
budget and stuff like that, the focuser, I took that away.
Good.
I don't have anything yet to put on them, but I have, I'm hoping.
We're getting you there. We're getting you.
Mhm.
That's great. Dinesh, did you have any additional comments? No, I thought you did. I'm sorry. David Salter, I know that you're in the car. Just wanted to check in with you, see how you were coming along. I know that you've been.
I'm actually parked now, and I missed a little of that. I was going off my Bluetooth just on the speaker on my phone, and I couldn't figure it out. But anyway, so when we were talking about the younger people and social media and all of that, back in August, I went back down to just the Chicago area where I grew up and was talking to, high school and younger, whose kids are all like, 20 to 25. And they were all, interested. And they said, to really make this work for our generation, you're going to have to get into like Instagram and whatever social media they're using right now, and I even went off Facebook. So, I mean, I'm not a social media guy at all anymore. And to me, that is the key. I've thought this, and I may have said this in another session. To me, if we can get that younger generation who on the social media to make it the cool thing to do your POA, do your health directive, then it really could go gangbusters, because it's, hey, this kid tells two friends, they tell two friends, like that old shampoo commercial from the 1970s. So that's sort of what I want to do, is sort of, but I'm so social media idiot. So, but that's sort of what I want to do, is get on social media and have those younger kids of my friends sort of try to, promote it.
Yeah.
The who, not how.
I think that's just really cool. So to continue this conversation, so you are looking for a influencer, and the influencer needs to make a commitment to you, right? So where would you start for finding a local influencer? Typically, you will look at your media partners. So you would start with your local radio stations and find out who within your local radio stations is a literally like local person. It's not a syndicated program. And then once you find out who those local people are, who's got that personality that you like that fits yours? Who has that? Are they in that demographic? And that's where you're going to want to start, with a local influencer for that younger generation. Now, there are some other, let's face it, in that generation, everybody's an Insta, person and a legend in their own mind with a following, but you really want to start with some sort of an influencer. Look at your local media partners first. Then you go to the next level. So David, you were talking to a bunch of people. Francis, you have a lot of people in your family. You want to look at the personalities, and you want to find out, okay, who is the one that has the most outgoing personality? Who is the one that can articulate and tell good stories and get people to, it makes sense, right? And then from there, they're the ones that you will entice. And I would recommend that you make it a win-win and you pay them to continue to be the influencer of your law firm and of the Guidr product. And don't just do it, have a strategy behind it. What audience do you want to talk to this week? Francis, you're part of the Mommy and Me group. Yeah, you're going to do it, but you want your influencer to be a mom that can relate to that Mommy and Me group. That's that third-party credibility that is so valuable. The other thing is that if you do have a good personality within your own law firm, that person that's not scared of being that voice piece, the lawyer, the team member, whatever it may be, use them. there's somebody as well that you can that can help with that organic, natural content creation and storytelling. One of our members, and actually he's a team member as well, is Eric Shruala. If you go to his Facebook page right now, he has been telling some awesome Guidr stories. I think he took advantage of the fact that it's October, and so he's giving horror stories, like the horror stories of estate planning. So he gives a quick story and then he tells everybody, don't fall into this, go to Guidr, and get properly protected. So look at the community of members that are on the Guidr platform, and check out what they're doing on social media and see what they're doing as well. Guidr, Eric, I do suggest you go check out his videos because they are good. David Salter, you're absolutely right of going to that younger generation. Find your influencer. That's where you're going to make the most impact. Absolutely. A little long-winded of an answer, but it's how much I'm stressing this. So.
Yeah, influencer. That's the word I was looking for. Thanks.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome.
One fatal LWP mistake I've made in the past, and this taper kind of changed my attitude on it. Leverage the Guidr team and the LWP team for support. There's a huge marketing package out there right now. And I even have a marketing plan meeting scheduled with Lisa next week. It is something that I've never done before. So leverage the team.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very important. It really is. And Eric, you were a conversation the other day. I said, is successful, Eric is our Guidr ambassador and this and that. And then for you to come up to me at Taper and be like, I need marketing help. And I'm like, yeah, let's get this on your calendar.
First of all, if you're going to market me, don't call me Eric.
Oh my God. I was just sorry. Thank you. Thank you for that. I was called Celeste so many times last week, so I apologize, Dinesh, although I don't mind being called Celeste. Dave Zampano does it all the time, okay? So, all right.
It's actually a term of endearment if I screw up your name.
Yeah, it's 10:40. I do want to kind of segue a little bit more to the tech side of things. I really have enjoyed this conversation. Dave Begley, David Salter, Michelle, Francis, Mitchell signed off, Dinesh, Tom, thank you so much. I appreciate this conversation. Please encourage our other team members that you're talking to when you cross paths with them to come to these conversations. I think that they're impactful. I would hope that they're impactful for you for idea sharing. But we do have a lot of updates that have been happening on the tech side of things. Andy Beacock, he is our CTO. Andy, hello. And him and his team are working diligently on a plethora of things on the tech side of the house with Brittany and team. So I didn't know if either of you wanted to give a quick update, and then Britt, we can segue. If nobody has any other open conversation questions, Britt, we can segue into the tech side and platform, and you can give us some updates.
Lisa,
yeah.
I was going to say, most people on this call were at were at Taper, and Andy was obviously the man with the beautiful beard. People might understand that now.
Yeah, Dinesh was fighting me for it.
Oh, that's great.
I'll let Britt talk about the kind of the features and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, since my voice is so good today, ready to do this. No, I'm going to share my screen so I can show you guys some of the updates on the attorney dashboard. I think that was our newest release. Also, Francis, I'll show you promo codes while we're in here. It's all in the same spot. So let me share my screen. Let me find the right screen to share. Here we go. Okay, so for new faces, if you have not seen this is the attorney dashboard for people who had previously signed up and might have already seen this dashboard. It looks a little bit different. There used to be two different sections that we found were a little bit duplicative. After a little bit of feedback, we were like, what's on top versus what's on bottom? We got rid of that top part, and now we just sort these workflows according to the most important stuff at top. So if you see those contact client buttons, that means that you need to reach out to them and do something. Whereas after you have accepted an engagement, or once these would say documents complete, those kind of get pushed toward the bottom. These are also now sortable, so you could sort by client name instead. You could sort by the status, the products, what state they're in, which is probably unusual. You're probably not going to be active in too many states. When it was created, when it was last edited, so you can see the most recent, or even what kind of signing type. If you hit this button over here, it will always revert to the most important stuff on top. Here were just some of the other buttons. So view, continue, review, with your most important stuff being contact client at the top, or you would see accept engagement would be up here. There just happens to not be one right in this dev environment. This is also, Francis, where you set those promo codes we were talking about. So in your product setup, this is where you set all your pricing. So you would go in for your healthcare directive and set your prices. You go in for the power of attorney, do the same thing for add-ons, for entire plans. And then right here, this little discounts button. Remember, this is under product setup discounts. And this is where you create your own promo code. So you could have your niece, Anna 2022. She's on her Instagram. Use my code, get a 10% discount, whatever you want. You just set this. I think it is important to note that I know Bethany has been pointing out there is no expiration on these right now. So we are hoping to work on that soon. There's not an expiration date. So if you want to remove them, all you do is you say, okay, Anna's done. I only wanted to run that through the end of the year. You just revoke it and it goes away, and it won't offer the 10% discount anymore. So you can set as many of these as you want. You can keep track of them. You can do them per financial advisor, per influencer, or like we were talking about, for friends and family, whatever you want them to be, for however much you want them to be. Just note, when there's something like 99% or 100% off, just remember you will still be on the hook for any fees that you would have incurred through Guidr. So, Guidr takes those administrative fees. So if you charge $100 normally for a healthcare proxy, if Guidr gets $30 of that, if you do 100% discount, you're still on the hook for that 30. So just be cautious with those really, really high promo codes. You might end up owing at the end of the month, which would be bad. So, but there is a way to do that.
I believe, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but Andy, I don't think 100% works across the board yet, does it? Right. So
No,
that one was just a testing situation. So
Okay.
the
It's because we're in the
100%.
dev environment. That's why
Yeah.
we've got it up to 100, so we can play around with things so that we don't have to run through the payment processing when we're testing.
So
Why, is there a maximum on there that they allow?
I can't go on, Bethany.
I don't know what the maximum is. I know that if you try to do 100, they'll still be charged a fee. So they'll still have to pay the fee for the processing, the end user would. Because right now we haven't completely bypassed that system across the board. So I just wanted to be mindful. The 100%.
So what it does is it passes on the actual fee to the attorney to them.
Yeah, it asks for the credit card processing fee regardless right now.
Right. Okay.
So again, like Britt said, just don't necessarily set some really, really high discounts.
Dave Begley has a question.
Go ahead, Dave.
I'm just licensed to practice law in Nebraska, and I see, other states here. So if it's a non-supervised signing, I mean, I could offer these to the world. Is that right?
No. So you can only offer it in the states that you're licensed to practice in. This just is our dev environment. So you see, I have all of these checked off. Yours and your firm would just be Nebraska, and people coming there, it would be for people looking for Nebraska documents. So if you are admitted in another state, of course you could have it and you could offer them to people in other states. That is considered practicing law in that state though. So you cannot do that.
Okay.
You can't just provide it to anybody is what I'm saying.
And David, that's a really interesting distinction. And we do that here at Guidr intentionally, meaning we are a lawyers only website. We are not, we're a lawyers only platform. We're not a non-lawyer platform. We could very easily flip a switch and make it where it's not a lawyer platform. And then you could do it in all 50 states as a non-lawyer. However, we have made the strategic decision to not do that and to really make this lawyer specific. So that's why you do have to be licensed in each state that you identify.
Thanks.
I did just want to also highlight, so I skipped over this. So besides being able to sort by these columns and setting it so the most important stuff's at top, you can always search client name. You can search by the status of their workflow, whether they still have payment required or whether they're all the way through to documents are ready. Or you can search by what plan they are looking to purchase. So that is all still the same, and you still have your reporting functions that are still the same up here.
Michelle, did you have a question also?
Yes. Am I unmuted? Yes. Yeah, thank you, first of all, you guys, the whole team, for making this a lawyer's platform. I think that that's incredibly, incredibly important to so many different aspects. I've seen so many horror stories come across my desk of things that were done on the internet on a non-lawyer platform, and it's just been it's been horrible. That jurisdiction screen makes me want to go take the national test. I can go to more states. But the question is on the discounts, on the discount codes. I know we'll definitely be printing them off. I'm sure most of the firms do. Is in our material, is there a coupon? We're really bad at tech. We're really bad at designing stuff. I mean, horrible. We've got to get somebody for that, and we just can't afford it yet. But do we have coupons we can print out? On some,
I'm assuming you're asking, is there kind of a template?
Yes.
That you can then just put your various details in and it looks pretty and then you get it printed. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it sounds so simple, but it's just one more step for us. Yeah.
You know what, Michelle, currently right now, when you go through the onboarding process, you'll see that you have a whole entire Guidr marketing toolkit. That is not included, but I will gladly have my team put something together that can be templatized. So
Okay.
If you want to
I
just
think
take
that's
that,
kind of a cool idea.
I like that idea. Plus it would complement well with the Christmas promotion or the holiday promotion that we were talking about. So Leslie, let's get that into our world.
And
Thanks,
Michelle, last time I looked, and this might be for David Begley too. If you've been practicing 5 years, you could waive into 25 of the 50 states.
Really?
So, yeah. So generally speaking, if states allow you to waive in, you're allowed to waive into them. In other words, the reciprocal. States like Florida and California, which do not allow states to waive in, then people from Florida and California can't waive into any other state either, typically. So, but states that do permit waive-ins also get the reciprocity to waive into those states that we permit to waive into us. And last I checked, I think there's about 25 that have a waive-in and 25 that don't, but I don't remember which ones. But
I for some reason, I'm thinking I'm in Kentucky, and I'm for some reason thinking we are not one of those waive-in states.
Yeah, maybe not. And then you might be more restricted.
Thank you, though.
All right.
There's still other ways to do it.
One of those waive-in states is Arizona, though, so you can partner up with someone down there.
Right. You don't have to be a lawyer in Arizona to practice. Well, to practice law you do, but you can own a law firm without being a lawyer. Tom Olfison, you had another?
There's other ways to get in besides taking the bar exam and getting waived. You can go in by motion, which isn't quite the same. You have to give them some evidence. I think Texas wants affidavits from existing clients, that kind of thing. So some of them want a little bit more information, but and Arizona lays it out really nicely for you if you want to be an Arizona lawyer. Their Supreme Court, I think, is who regulates it, has a nice list of things you have to show them. So it's not impossible. You don't have to take the bar exam in every state. Some of them you do, but some of them are even though they say they don't waive, it's still pretty easy. South Dakota, South Carolina, North Carolina, you apply and then you have to show up there. You have to go in person. They say hi and you're in, but they want you to show up.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Great conversation. We have 8 minutes left. And if we're good, and it's been such a healthy conversation today, I appreciate it. The other thing that I just want to put out there that, maybe you don't have a fellow attorney within your state, maybe you have some buddies from law school or friends from law school, or you're in any social groups or whatever, and you think that they would be a good addition to the Guidr team, the Guidr platform, feel free to send them the link and do an introduction, and we'll gladly get on with them and show them all the great stuff that you guys think is great as well. So before we wrap up, just kind of wanted to check in with everyone and get your takeaways and next actions or something you would like us to discuss next time around. So Dinesh, I will start with you.
Well, I just have one quick observation that I think is really, really cool. So this is one of my favorite parts about being in on this level with the Guidr launch, I guess, if you will. Michelle came in today and made a suggestion, and it's already being implemented with Leslie and Lisa.
Oh,
That's not an opportunity that we'll have come 3, 4, 5 years down the line. These roundtables, I guarantee once things expand, are probably going to stop. So that's a really cool thing that we have our input, we have our footprint on this new technology.
Thanks, Dinesh. I appreciate that feedback.
Also,
Francis?
can I just add something to back
Oh,
that
of
up as well
course.
from Dinesh's side as well? If there's any parts of the system as you're using it, you find it kind of it butts up against how you work, or there's any niggles or whatever, get that feedback back through us as well, back through Bethany or Bryn or other members, because from a tech side, we want to make this a really usable, fun piece of software for people to use. So we're really open to feedback on that side of things as well.
Niggles? Is that a specific tech
Oh,
term?
sorry, it's that's probably a British thing. Any little oddities that get a bit frustrating.
Thank you.
Briggles.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate that input as well. So Francis, thoughts?
I'm just excited to get started.
Okay, great. I will follow up with you after this call to get you started.
Okay.
Tom Olafson.
I'm well on my way.
Awesome. Great.
Very, very happy to be part of it.
Good. Dave Begley. What are your thoughts about today's conversation?
Oh, well, who was it? Somebody said, I wrote it down like I always do. I got to get going on this. Or I have to do this. It was Michelle in Kentucky. I have to do this. So
Yep.
It's good to hear.
Yep. Push you on. We'll get you over that starting line. It's Michelle said it. Mitchell said it. So great. And then Michelle, any reflections and feedback from today's conversation?
No, I've got the Amanda, or maybe it was Brianna who was talking and she was sick at the conference. So now I have it because I hugged her a couple of times.
Oh no.
I'm still so excited over this. I can't wait to get this up and running. I'm home working today. I'm so excited. It's ridiculous.
Well, good. Thank you for making the commitment to be with us on the call today. And we will also follow up with our fellow members that were on this call, but I'm assuming bowed out because they had appointments or whatnot. So before we sign off, Guy, Dave, Leslie, Bethany, Britt, anybody, Bryn, anybody have any feedback, comments?
I just want to say, if I haven't gotten to you yet, it'll be coming soon. So Dave, I know we haven't gotten to connect, but I'm trying to get to everybody in the next week. So bear with me.
All right, sounds good.
I just wanted to say it's great to meet everybody, because I think I've probably met almost everybody on this call last week, and really great that you joined us on the round table, having signed up for Guidr. Thank you.
Yes, sounds great. All right, everybody, 3 minutes to go. Have a wonderful day. And hopefully we'll see you next month with additional members as well.
And don't
Take
forget
care.
to bring your niggles.
That's right. That's a new one, Andy. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a good day.